If I use the wrong pillow, I might have trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. As a kid, to me, ancient history was something like World War I. But I arrived close to that time, and this year as I sing this song, and I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year. Oh, a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see, everybody, 100 years ain't what it used to be. Before you know it, you're 63, making plans for Medicare A and B. You look around yourself and you see, 100 years ain't what it used to be.
Josh Arnold.
Joe, rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1659, November 12, 2025. 65 degrees was the record high. That was in 2001 and 4 below in 1966. Do yourself a favor. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
You know what my favorite part of the introduction now is? Oftentimes, Matthew, my brother from another mother, when he waves to the camera when his name is introduced,
Right here, I'm seeing it right now.
his graphic is showing, so no one can actually see him.
No.
Oh.
See, I had neglected to remember that last night was a potential viewing of the Northern Lights.
Oh, my goodness.
Just settle down. But Rookie sent me a photo and said, Northern Lights from South St. Paul. Okay, now don't interrupt me.
Thank you.
So I thought, oh, that's right. That was about 9 o'clock. So I went outside. I didn't see a damn thing. And then the phone started buzzing with messages from other people, kids in the family who were seeing them and all this. So I said, well, and I'm going to go up to Highland Golf Course.
Yeah, you're going to trek about a couple miles away to get up there.
That's right. And I was shocked at the number of cars pulling in there and stopping, and everybody had the same idea. And sure enough, I saw them, but only with my phone.
What do you mean?
In other words, I held my phone to the north sky, a little bit northwest, clicked a picture, and sure enough, there were the Northern Lights.
Because other than that, it looked just like a hazy cloud, correct?
Well, here's my point. We have a philosophical problem here. I don't know if philosophical is the word. We have a problem. Have you seen the Northern Lights if you've only seen them after you use your cell phone? My answer is no, I have not.
You are a no. I am a yes because I went out there with the naked eye later on and could see shades of green and red.
Big deal. You didn't see bleep.
It wasn't a show, correct. I saw them, but it wasn't a show.
What?
Outside of the sustainable urban core.
Yeah.
Where did you have the
out my way.
Yeah.
I made the jaunt, put the boys in the truck and said, hey, let's head south a little bit. I'm halfway, but I'm on the south edge.
So you went away from the Northern Lights.
No. I'm in the south part of Jordan. If I drive 2 miles towards Belle Plaine, I'm in the middle of cornfields and everything.
Out loud, you already are in the middle of a cornfield.
But you got to get a little bit further away from the city. It was picturesque. It was stunning. It was so beautiful.
You did not have to use your camera.
No, God, no.
Did you take any pictures?
I shot a video. Well, I shot the video, though, from my driveway. It was still visible from my driveway.
Okay. That's fine. I'm glad
Go ahead, proceed.
You should have stopped. You should have stopped by.
I'm glad you live in the middle of nowhere because that's where you have to be.
It's Scott County. It's not that far away.
I guess for me personally, I can't count that as a victory. I can't count that as a...
Wait, you posted a photo.
I did. I said, hey, I finally saw a celestial event.
filter.
Upon reflection.
Upon further review. He's thrown his own challenge flag.
I cannot accept that as a celestial observation.
Why?
It required the
He cheated.
bleeping phone.
He cheated.
Now, I could see vaguely, there's something going on up there. But it did not become clarified until I took a picture of this blank sky, and all of a sudden the picture is full of these beautiful stripes and reds and
shapes,
greens and what have you.
I'm going to show you one because we got a loyal listener, and his name is Cicero MN, and his photo is stunning. I believe he's north.
I think we got you.
See,
topped.
there's a key word in
I
the
think we
Northern
got you
Lights.
topped.
It's northern.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank
you.
I don't doubt that people saw them with the naked eye. I'm just saying
Look at
I
that.
didn't, and therefore I'm disqualified.
Look at his photo right here.
That's nice.
You see that one right there? Now
Okay.
that's a photo.
That's exactly what mine looks like through my camera.
Oh no, I don't look like that.
Okay.
No.
Here.
I'm going to retweet it for the
Smart boy.
GLers.
Yeah, hey,
Here it
smart
is.
boy, you're right here.
Right
is what
here.
It is. I'll give it
Just
to
a
you.
minute, right here.
Scrolling,
Don't give me this stuff here.
Oh wait, I
who
retweeted
sent
the wrong
this?
photo. I
I got
think.
news for you.
You get that off at X?
I got this right here.
Here it comes. This is the original.
What about that?
You see
middle
that?
of-
That's pretty
Huh?
good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It
Now-
looks like a.
When
See, but I didn't see that.
you ain't seen it?
I didn't seen this. I just aimed the camera at where I figured I might seen it.
When you were taking the photo, were you squinting out of one eye?
Them ain't the lights you see without aid.
That's right. That's
Right.
what I'm
Them
saying.
ain't the lights you see without aid.
No, I don't see. I see nothing without aid.
I saw some fuzziness, but it wasn't spectacular. You did have to go through. Now, what about the nice photo you have?
What about it?
The good one.
Oh, I got a pilot in the family. He was flying from here to Washington D.C. and he sent some photos that are extraordinary. But the difference is, he was photographing what he saw.
Wait a minute.
Right. Right. No, I agree. He had a better view
He
from
was
his
photographing what he
vantage point,
saw. He didn't aim his camera at the northern horizon and hope to get lucky.
which is what I did.
Me too. That doesn't count. Now maybe it does for you.
Well, no, because I saw him with my naked eye. They just weren't as spectacular.
Matt, you didn't see anything with your naked eye. You saw, you heard that there was going to be northern lights.
Ran out there.
And you ran out there, and you're half in the bag, and you look up there and you think, yeah, I see it.
Yep. I thought I was spinning hard to stand straight. but-
Over under on the number of GLers that email you and saying, "Oh, he was texting while he was flying."
Well,
He wasn't.
he was on autopilot.
Gotcha.
He was on auto.
Can I share one quick? Are you moving on? I didn't want to.
I'm not moving on until
Let
we
us
reach.
know when we can interrupt you,
I would
please,
like to
'cause you said
reach.
don't interrupt.
I would like to reach closure on this issue. I didn't see them. My camera did.
And that's bothersome.
It's terribly bothering me.
Okay, but you realize that in order to see the northern lights, you need to be in a serious location.
Begs the second question.
When you going?
Tonight is supposed to be even better
Really?
than last night.
Then let's head to
So
Duluth.
how far do I have to drive?
I think you pack up the car.
Well, you see, there's no really, Matt. I'm not going to travel. I mean, I don't
No,
need clothes.
he's already got a
let me
picnic
finish.
basket in
I'm
his
saying,
head.
yeah, you get a picnic basket, you pack up the car, you get some lemonade, you make the 6-mile drive up to Highland Park North Tower, from your house. It's far away.
You got to go. I suppose you'd have to go
Forest Lake.
probably past that.
Past Forest Lake?
No,
Go to EcoFun.
there's no light pollution.
They're closed at night.
Better yet,
Tim will let you in.
get on the roof. Hey,
With your
Well,
camera.
that's the second question. Do I take off tonight and just keep driving north?
you know what? For me, it's closed. I saw what I needed to see.
You're good.
They're not overly spectacular. It's neat to see colors in the
Matt.
sky.
Matt,
Yeah.
it's not overly spectacular because, once again, you didn't see them. Your camera did.
But you think you're going to go to North St. Paul next to the giant snowman and see
No.
sizzling northern lights?
I'll go farther than that. The one time I
Just
did
stop at
see them,
Newman's.
the only once in my life have I seen them with the naked eye.
If the
And
hu-
that, can I finish
Yep,
that?
sorry.
That was on Leech Lake in the summer,
Mm.
and they were spectacular.
And you've
They
seen
were
him.
alive.
I
they
seen
were,
them.
They were doing this.
I didn't need no camera
Yeah.
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you saw them. You've seen them. Your life it's off the bucket list.
If the
I'd like to
Sush-
see them again, okay?
okay.
if the Souchery household was to take a vote, would they vote yes? You should drive all the way up north tonight.
Yes.
Take a couple of
and
days.
stay overnight if you need to. Go right ahead. They may come out at
come
noon.
back.
Right.
And don't think he won't.
So the area that I was in, and I'm going to be careful because I don't know if I know these people or not, they were on a pretty decent highway, 55 miles an hour, not terribly busy. And they were having them and their kids, no hazards, nothing.
No.
And I said, you're on a highway. Get out of the road.
Next road exit.
What are you talking about? Were they
The people that
filming?
were filming this stuff, and you could not see them if you were driving along. And I'm thinking, people,
Well, then they didn't see him either.
they ain't seen them.
Did you plate them? We got their plate?
No,
Let's get their
I'm not
plate out.
doing that.
222. Or are they whiskey plates?
No, they were not.
Okay.
He's in the ditch.
You're a young techie. Where are you on this? Did I see them or did my camera see them?
Tell him you saw him on social media.
I mean, if you want the facts of a phone camera, the phone camera can see it 100 times better than your naked eye
And
can.
I don't understand why that is.
It's made to increase the saturation of colors to make it look better in a photo than it is to your eye. So that's why you're looking through your camera, seeing a lot more than what's there. But the lights are actually there because the camera's not picking up something that it's not actually in front of the camera.
No, I understand the
Say no Kodachrome.
I understand the camera captures what's there.
Yeah.
I get that, but I didn't see them. The camera did,
Yeah, and I get that. I understand where you're coming from.
and I'm saddened by this.
I think you can still see the northern lights, though. At least from where I was, I could definitely see something moving in the sky that's normally not there. And
you were
it's
perched
not
in the
too-
bluffs of Mendota, weren't you?
Well, I was at work, but when we got home, yeah. The only thing is we have the airport.
Well,
So he's got airport lights.
the airport shouldn't have interfered with you because the airport is behind you.
Not where we rest, though. It's not because
Rest? What do you mean?
like where our apartment is.
What do you put a cot out in the street or what?
Think of old
the
diamond
lights are
gems.
gonna go up into the sky and spread out.
Yeah, I get it.
So it goes all around that area because it's light pollution, and they have all of the lights everywhere.
But is this a result of how really horse crap our eyes are?
No.
That we can't filter through and see?
it's not that at all. It's just how fantastic the technology has become.
Yeah,
That's what it is. That's what it's a testament to.
it's
Well,
also
that
still
and there-
coming from the sun.
Yeah, that and they're a long way away. You shouldn't be blaming your eyes. I'm just saying we weren't close enough to experience it with our eyes.
Okay.
Rook, it's similar to in the mid 1980s when the Reavers family took a vacation out to South Dakota and we went to the Black Hills, Mount Rushmore. And my dad thought, I'm going to get a great family photo of Mount Rushmore behind us with the cheapest, crappiest camera that the Kmart in Faribault had to offer. It basically was a mush pile in the background
You can see
because
his
they're
head.
so far away.
You can see his forehead.
Well, GL, there's another shot at it tonight. Do what you must. I mean,
What is peak for that? What time?
Well, there is no. I don't know.
It depends on the sun. So the sun has its own cycle, and we're nearing what's called solar maximum, which is when it's going to give off its most solar flare,
I gotta look
which
that
is what causes the
Okay.
Are we going to
aurora
lose
borealis.
GPS and telephones?
So that can happen if the storm is severe enough. It will mess with the magnetic poles.
Yeah.
What NASA and SpaceX is worried about right now is the lights will actually heat up the furthest layer of our atmosphere and slow down the satellites, deorbiting the satellite.
This
so
is
they'll
a
have to recorrect that.
Sorry, Gabe, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt
that's
you.
okay.
Apparently, according to this meteorologist, his name is Bruce Leroy.
Yeah.
He says around 8 p.m. Central is your best chance to see.
Well, off I go then.
So if Joe looks through binoculars to see a bird, does that mean he never actually saw the bird?
Ooh.
This is from your top chat in YouTube. This is Lori Lou.
Well, I'm not in the habit of just randomly aiming the binoculars at a tree, hoping I see a bird.
He's usually looking through the window.
So if I saw, well, that's not. That's my hang up. It's my problem.
Yeah, that's your.
You're comfortable with the camera. I'm glad I saw him through the camera, but I'm not comfortable that I had a sighting.
Got it.
So
Noted.
But isn't that in and of itself kind of unusual, being as close to the city as you are, to see that good of a glimpse of the
I
Northern
don't
Lights?
know, because on previous occasions I've never used the cell phone. For all I know, 10 years ago you could have aimed the cell phone at the sky during a solar flare and you would have seen it.
And most of the time you miss those just entirely anyway.
Right. That's why, my initial burst of excitement was I finally saw something.
Sure.
Because
Celestial event.
I've missed everything.
Right.
But upon reflection, upon review, I called a challenge. I threw a challenge flag on myself.
And I was asked by both of my sons last night, when does this usually happen? Is it usually around this time of the
It
year?
can happen any time of
That's
year.
what I thought, and that's what I said.
It's every 11 years that the sun has a cycle like this. So it
Yeah,
just
but Northern
it depends
Lights are
on what
more
it-
frequent than every 11 years.
Yeah, because we have solar wind.
Yeah.
The solar wind is all 11 years. It just won't be as effective or as widespread. Like people are seeing them in Florida and in Mexico and in,
Alabama.
yeah.
Virginia.
Okay, we run the whole.
Well, somebody
state.
chimed in here and they said they saw him from Virginia.
Oh,
Yeah.
solar wind can be crazy, can't it?
It's nutty. It goes everywhere.
What are you trying to play?
That was Rick M. Rick M said saw them in Virginia.
Okay.
Rick M.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, seriously. Rick M. photo.
GLers, if you need an attorney, will you get a hold of Bradshaw and Bryant?
If you're blinded by the lights of the Northern.
Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury attorneys. If you're like me, you're going to be confused if you're ever injured in an accident. Hope not. Insurance companies and adjusters can be difficult to deal with. Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant puts together a team. They'll represent you, help you through a tough time. Mike is recognized as one of Minnesota's top 40 personal injury lawyers. And believe me, there's a lot of personal injury lawyers in this state. You want the best. That's Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. I hope you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Your case evaluation, of course, is free. And please don't be a part of the problem. Don't text and drive or take pictures of the northern lights while you're speeding down the highway.
Or
That's
flying
just
a plane.
that's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
'82, I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years alive. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, Johnny!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny, hi.
Did the guitar face.
Ibuprofen's under buy again in my online shopping cart. Every week I learn of something else I should be doing for my heart. If I use the wrong pillow, I might have trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. As a kid, to me, ancient history was something like World War I. But I arrived close to that time and this year as I sing this song. And I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year. Oh, a little while it seems you got time to choose your...
Have you seen the pancake guy?
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life.
Go, Reeves.
Joe Souchere.
North American Banking Company. You know what? They've been investing in your success since 1998, and that's because they've had one simple philosophy since then, and that's this. It's banking done differently. And you do get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's Roseville, 50th and France, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. You know what? Here's the deal. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, then make the switch because they offer the same online and mobile banking options as all of those other big national banks. But the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. And they are also locally owned and operated. Here's why that's important. That means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps all of you local business owners solve problems quickly and also expand your business with confidence. They deal with numbers every single day, but you are never going to be one of them. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Joe?
What does inexorably mean? Serious question. Don't smart off. Look it up. Inexorably. Because I want to use it in a sentence. I want to say Jamal Osman's name is inexorably involved with the Feeding Our Future scandal.
In a way that is impossible to stop or prevent.
Well, no, I'm right. Because every time I read about Feeding Our Future, Jamal Osman in some fashion comes up. Mm-hmm. Jamal Osman was carjacked last night. He's a Minneapolis City Council person, Ward 6. And he was on Lake Street in Portland. And 2 kids walked up to him, mimicking that they had a gun, and he immediately handed over the keys to his car. He was not injured, and he was told, kind of odd, he probably called the police. Even though
I bet it wasn't the fifth call he made.
But he was the part of the defunding the police vote in the city council. And now he's demanding accountability. Well, join the rest of us, Jamal. He wrote, Minneapolis police responded quickly to the incident. I want to thank them. And also Chief O'Hara and Major Fry for reaching out and checking in. I want to assure neighbors that I'm okay. The incident is another reminder of the work ahead to keep all our communities safe. Well, then maybe from now on, you won't vote to defund the police, okay? The carjacking comes a week after Osman easily won re-election to Ward 6, to represent Ward 6. He defeated challenger Mohamud Hassan. So Ward 6, I believe, is a Somali hotspot. A lot of Somalis probably live in that.
Okay, so he was unlike Shivanthi Sathanandan, who called for the defunding of the police and then called them when she was attacked and ripped how long the police took to get there.
I don't recall that she specifically called for the defunding of the police.
Okay, I'm mistaken.
No, it may be. But what I recall is she was a highly ranked DFL operative.
Second vice chairwoman for the DFL in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Osman did release a statement. Did you read that?
Osmond?
Yeah.
Didn't I just read it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was listening to something in queue. I apologize if you did read it already.
He just said, I'm good, and I thank the cops and tell my neighbors I'm fine.
But I guess the one thing that I noticed when I was reading through the statement is the fact that, well, he didn't even cite the fact that we've got a problem. You know what I mean? It almost felt like...
No, he did. He said, this incident is another reminder of the work ahead to keep all our communities safe. By his standards, that's acknowledging the problem.
I guess you're right. All right.
So then I don't know. I knew I had seen his name so often with the food fraud. That's because here, let's look it up here. I mean, I got a million pieces. This is from, what's this from? This is NBC. Remember Amy Bach's party in 2021 where they're celebrating the fact that the Department of Education is going to start sending out the checks again? There was a lawsuit. He spoke at that. Osmond's wife at the time was running a meal site that ultimately was determined to be fraudulent, but neither he nor his wife were indicted for anything.
Okay.
All right. He started some. Well, it's so complicated. It's just amazing. But he attended the Bach party. Ilhan Omar's deputy district director Ali Issi was introduced as vital in the fight to deliver the essential food program that our kids need. But none of that was taking place. They were all stealing the money. State Senator Omar Fateh, who ran for mayor as well, he was at that party as well. He thanked Bach for her work and claimed to the dozens in attendance that he obtained a meeting with the governor's office in which he was assured there was zero evidence of fraud in the meal program.
Really?
This needs to be revisited.
We don't know that.
Fateh not only had meetings with the governor, but also with Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison said, I'll look into it. And then Keith Ellison hectored the Department of Education to start reissuing those checks. And Walls apparently told Fateh zero evidence of fraud. It was all fraud. Every bit of it is fraud. And Osmond, whose name came up in testimony in Bach's trial, claimed he took education department leaders to task for not allowing the meal program to expand. So he
figured it out.
He's not been charged with taking any money.
Right.
But he was very upset the flow of money had stopped. You can kind of do your own deductions here.
Follow the money.
Osmond did not share with the audience during that 2021 celebration with his wife, Lo Amba, was several months into running. He did not share with the audience that his wife, Lo Amba, was several months into running an alleged meal site of her own. Public records show Amba's nonprofit, Urban Advantage, received $460,000 in reimbursements between Feb and November of 2021, claiming to serve meals out of a small downtown office. The Minnesota Attorney General's office later shut it down, calling it a fraudulent shell company. When I heard that MDE took this step to stop feeding the kids in the middle of the pandemic, my office had to do something, Osmond said in his June 2021 speech. Osmond said that he got a call from then MDE Commissioner Heather Mueller, who's conveniently enough left when the bleep hit the fan,
Right.
and shared his concerns about racist treatment. If you stop paying us, that's racist.
Trump card to play, huh?
We're trying to open new meal sites. I asked her.
I bet you are.
Right.
Well, he hasn't been indicted for anything. Osmond asked Mueller, I asked her why you would cut the food when there's so much demand that Latino and Somali kids need the food, Osmond said. I told her the money is actually from the federal government. Your job is to distribute it fairly. So and basically that's tantamount to saying, what are you worried about? It's not your money. It's the federal money. Just keep cutting the checks to us. Or to them.
Right.
And I read on here and I learn that when the Attorney General Office filed a civil complaint against Urban Advantage Services in October of 2023, it wrote, in essence, it is a fraudulent shell company created around the start of a pandemic to perpetuate fraud, not to serve its mission. Osmond and his wife have never answered questions about fraud allegations.
Why? Why haven't they been taken?
Because it's out of the playbook. You just don't say anything.
Well, because they can't be nailed with taking any money somehow. Urban Advantage Services was not Osmond's only tie to what is now known as Feeding Our Future. I'm reading from a 2023 piece. In October of 2020, he and Amba, that's the missus, signed over control of a different nonprofit they had called Stigma Free. He was passing himself off as a mental health expert. Maybe he is. I don't know. Federal prosecutors made it clear Stigma Free appeared to be a dormant nonprofit. Yet Osmond wrote in a letter to the new board, I have seen growth during the time that I have served and am confident you will continue to grow this amazing organization in my absence. Several people are now charged with immediately using Stigma Free for meal fraud at sites across Minnesota to the tune of $13 million.
Woo!
It was a nonprofit that he allegedly founded. Prosecutors explained to the jury in Bach's trial that fraudsters shifted to nonprofits after MDE made a rule stopping for-profit restaurants from participating in the child nutrition program.
Those evil for-profit restaurants.
Dang it.
In an effort to stop the fraud. They said Osmond's existing dormant nonprofit would be enticing to fraudsters hoping not to draw too much attention by forming a brand new profit. Neither Osmond nor Amba have been criminally charged in connection to the case. The U.S. Attorney's Office hasn't ruled out charging more suspects, but has not commented directly on Osmond and his wife. Oh. How he is skating around the perimeter of this is an absolute miracle. I don't know how he has avoided any consequences, but he has. He has not been charged with anything. These are the people who were claiming to feed thousands of kids a day in Pelican Rapids, and so he's in the thick of it in the sense that he is living and working in that ecosystem.
Right.
That's his life. Are these people? He has not been charged with anything. I'll keep repeating that.
Sure.
But this is
that a yet or is that a no?
I'm going to say yet.
Yeah.
That's all what stems from this fellow had the carjacking last night, and I just, my immediate fascination with the fact that he got carjacked is that he just followed the Pied Piper of the DSA wing and said, yeah, let's defund cops.
You know, the only silver lining between this and the government shutdown is a lot of this stuff has now been exposed. And it started with us here with the food fraud. Mm-hmm. Rogan had a guy on. I can't remember what day it was this week. They basically in California found almost 700 different businesses that had the same address. And it's this one bedroom square
closet that's
nothing
got nothing
on California Avenue. So this stuff is happening all over the place. And it's so terribly frustrating.
This is from the Minnesota Reformer. His wife, well, let's see. The wife of Minneapolis City Council member Jamal Osmond, Elo Amba, incorporated a nonprofit that reported feeding 2,500 kids a day. The wife of, let me turn the page. This is from the Reformer. This is an October 11th, 2022 story. Amba incorporated a nonprofit called Urban Advantage Services, registering its office at the South Minneapolis home she shares with Osmond. The registered address was changed to a downtown office building suite on December 21, 2021. about a month after the FBI began raiding homes as part of its wide-ranging investigation that has already netted 49 indictments, more expected. Again, this is, what did I tell you the date of this story was? 2022. Reached by phone, Osmond, who was elected in 2020 to the council, said he didn't have time to talk and hung up. Amba did not return a phone call seeking comment. An entity called Urban Advantage Center is listed as a food distribution site in the federal child nutrition program with the same downtown Minneapolis address as Amba's nonprofit Urban Advantage Services. Urban Advantage Center reported feeding 2,500 kids a day from Fed 1 2021 through September 2021 under the sponsorship of Partners in Nutrition. According to state records, Partners in Nutrition is a St. Paul nonprofit that state regulators shut down after some of its sites sponsored were charged in connection with the fraud.
Just doesn't stop.
The state, well, this is 3 years old. The state stopped payments in January after FBI raids began, saying the nonprofit was directly responsible. This is the one Osmond's wife's involved with. The nonprofit was directly responsible for distributing more than $57.7 million in misappropriated funds.
We don't.
Oh, wait,
50,
sorry.
almost
We do know that.
58 million.
I meant to hit this one. Sorry.
And yet, neither Amba nor Osmond have been charged with a crime.
You know, when you were saying that, I was wondering, have we ever done, and maybe we have on this show, all of these different food fraud cases? Have we added up the total number of actual kids we were feeding?
Millions.
Because, man.
It'd be millions.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it, but if you want to, you go ahead.
Well, I was just curious if we have.
Osmond and Amba and two others incorporated Stigma Free. That's the supposed mental health place. Stigma Free in August 2019, but then on October 15th, 2020, new paperwork was filed with the state showing new incorporators minus Osmond and Amba. Amba incorporated Urban Advantage Center about a month later. Earlier this year, 2022, Osmond told the Sahan Journal that he did mental health outreach before leaving Stigma Free in June of 2020 and never worked with food programs. All right. Well, anyway, this is old news, but it's all stemming from my curiosity. When I see his name, I always wonder because it's inexorably linked
It's almost
to the food fraud.
It's almost impossible, though, and I'll never be convinced otherwise, that there aren't many people on the inside that have been on the take with these various programs. You're never going to convince me otherwise.
No, I started out saying no, but I happen to agree with that no.
Because they had way too much of a head start on all the different loopholes that they had to jump through. They had way too much information on the different types of applications that they had to provide. How would they have known that all right away?
You know, on his Wikipedia page, under born, that's either 1983 or 1984.
Yeah.
You know,
But
it's
you know, the
around.
records are. Somalia didn't have a good record.
Well, for him, though, he probably doesn't remember.
You think when he filled out the application or helped somebody that it's 93, 90, 83, 84, whatever.
One of those.
He was born in Somalia and was a refugee in Kenya before coming to the U.S. when he was 14. All right. Prior to his political career, Osmond worked as a resident advocate for Common Bond Communities, a nonprofit affordable housing organization where he assisted tenants and helped connect them with social services. He also worked as a community organizer, focusing on issues such as housing, education, and social services within Minneapolis's East African community. So, again, we're just merely burdened with one more of his kind, meaning he's never done anything.
Well, no,
But let's make sure we get his friends or himself some money.
but he is fighting for us.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Oh.
But he is fighting for somebody. But you know what? He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been indicted.
Allegedly.
Hasn't been thoroughly vetted. Because you know there's somewhere.
On Feb 17
You get
of
that
this
last
year.
one? You know there's somewhere.
of this year,
Yeah.
2025.
federal prosecutors presented evidence connecting Osmond's former nonprofit Stigma Free International to the large-scale fraud case centering Feeding Our Future. Prosecutors allege that Osmond, his wife Elo Amba, and 2 others founded the nonprofit as a shell company before transferring it to others who were able to commit fraud under the nonprofit's name. Amba operated a Feeding Our Future site, which received more than $450,000 in reimbursements for the program. Neither Osmond nor Amba has been charged with any crime. About a month after turning Stigma Free over to new directors, Amba incorporated another nonprofit, Urban Advantage Center. That was shut down for civil violations in a settlement with Keith Ellison, who alleged that Amba created a sham charity to enrich herself. So here's the problem. How do I say this? Osmond, to me, is just part of a large gang of people whose names are similar, whose relationships are confusing, and maybe he thanks God every day that he hasn't been arrested yet, or maybe he's as clean as a whistle. But that doesn't seem plausible, that he's clean as a whistle, because the world he travels in is this world. The world of the food fraud, every other kind of fraud. I'm not saying he's a fraudster, but it's really hard to look at all this and think how
is he not connected?
How can he not have been touched by it?
Right.
I'm saying it's a
His
matter of
wife
time.
has been touched by it, and yet she hasn't been charged with anything.
Just like Omar Fateh's wife was connected, and his brother-in-law.
Because it's all the same family.
Yep.
It's all not.
It's the same ring.
It's a ring.
Yes.
Ring.
And there and many members of the ring have advanced mightily. Ilhan Omar praised Jamal Osman for confronting MDE to stopping the payments. Don't tell me Ilhan is absolutely a part of the ring.
Yes. And she berated
Allegedly.
fellow Somalis for not voting for Omar Fateh.
Omar Fateh, which would have been the installment of another important person in the ring to a higher position.
Yep.
So it's indictments and trials are taking place, and truth is being discovered. But I would suspect we're a long way from really understanding how thorough the corruption is.
Yep.
Just how thorough it is and who's engineering it. Because it's extraordinary. Again, this all stems from me getting curious when I see the guy, fortunately he wasn't hurt. 2 kids grabbed his car. He gave him the keys and
Well, he did what he was supposed to do and not fight back and play a hero.
just do what I do. Drive a manual transmission.
Yeah. Hey, bud, you can't.
I'll just point
Listen,
it.
Tim.
I'm just going to point it out to the kids. See this? There's not a chance in hell you're not going to get 10 feet.
Tell you what, I'll let you drive at a block. If you get away, go ahead.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Otherwise, just let me.
I'm
let
going
me-
to watch. I'm probably going to hear some grinding. But
Take it to Schoonovers.
But if you can get it going, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Take her
have
for
at
a
it.
ride.
Where are we? Oh, right
need
here.
one of
You're going to
these.
tell us
I
about.
know. No, I was going to tell you
great,
about. I was going to tell you about EcoFlow
a great outfit.
because
You can't go up there to see the Northern Lights because they're not open.
Well, not at 8:00 tonight. They're not going to be.
You know what, though? Knock on the door. Ask Tim, can I stick around for the Northern Lights?
Well, you know what? They got a great parking lot.
Little camp.
That's where you test your electric bikes and scooters and whatever. There's a great end of the season sale on all e-bike, scooters, and motorcycles right now at EcoFun Motorcycles. No, EcoFun Motorsports.
That's
Because they
right.
got more than motorcycles.
Yes.
In fact, they're the electric bike capital of the world, and those bikes are on sale starting at $9.99. EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake on Highway 67, immediately west of Interstate 35. The ATVs and side-by-sides for fall hunting season are in stock. The motorcycles and the scooters and youth recreational equipment is there. The winter equipment is coming in. And as I've mentioned before, if you find any water products still available, they're on sale. And they're going to throw in a $1,000 Triton trailer so you haul that baby up to the lake with that. End of the season sale at EcoFun. All e-bikes, scooters, and motorcycles. Electric bikes on sale starting at $99.99. Motorcycles and scooters at their lowest prices of the year. EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake / Columbus, just west of Interstate 35 on Highway 97. Down in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life. And a great website, ecofunmotorsports.com.
I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84. passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy, when he was a boy in 1904, he was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed, and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, Johnny!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny, hey! Oh, yeah!
Did the guitar face.
Air.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
If you're frustrated in life that you have never seen the Northern Lights in person and you're looking for some type of ray of hope, then look no further than Minnesota's Freemasons for several years now in GL. I've been sharing with you all the great things the Minnesota Freemasons do. They do really big things, donating over $6 million annually to support, how about this, cancer research, aging studies, children's communication disorders. The 8,000 plus Freemans throughout Minnesota, they work together to make the world a better place by focusing on the core values of friendship, personal development, and helping those in need. And you've heard me talk about the civility projects, how they want people to be nice to each other, look each other in the eye. Minnesota Freemasons, they've also given away dozens of scholarships each year to tomorrow's leaders. That's a good investment. This year, they'll give out over $900,000 in scholarships for 2025. And to date, Minnesota Masonic Charities, they've given over $13 million in total scholarships. That's why we're such great fans of Minnesota Freemasons. They're donating their time, putting their money where their mouth is. Plus, they're donating talents to foster the next generation of business and civic leaders. You want to learn more about Freemasonry? Well, I'll tell you what, there's a lot to learn. There's scholarship programs, upcoming events online at mnfreemasons.org. Joe.
And this portion that would normally be Johnny Heights Newscast is brought to us by our friends at North American Banking Company.
Beautiful.
Just one more note. Doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Jamal Osman, but it's something I came across when I was doing my homework this morning. This is dated October 1st, 2024, and it's a release from the Justice Department. An Egan woman pleaded guilty to her role in the $250 million fraud scheme that exploited a federally funded child nutrition program, announced U.S. Attorney Andrew Luger. According to court documents, I'm sure we talked about this at the time.
I could tell the tone. This is going to be a
but
whopper.
you're going to love this one. I'm sure we discussed it a year ago, but it bears repeating. According to court documents, Kausar Jama, 42, was the principal of Guido Community Services and Alan Child Care Center, Inc.
Ooh.
Jama enrolled these entities in the federal child nutrition program under the sponsorship of Feeding Our Future and Sponsor A, and operated sites in Pelican Rapids, Burnsville, and Minneapolis. One of the main food vendors for Jama's sites was Haji Osman Salad through his business, Haji's Kitchen. Salad provided Jama with false food invoices, which she used as part of her fraudulent claims for reimbursement from the federal child nutrition program. For example, Jama's Pelican Rapids site, a small town in west central Minnesota with a population of approximately 2,500 people.
Okay.
2,500 people in Pelican Rapids.
That's adults and children.
Fraudulently claimed to have served more than 233,000 meals to children in Pelican Rapids from September 2021 to December 2021. So
Yeah. They would have been
September, October,
morbidly obese.
in 4 months, she fed 233,000 kids in a town with a population of 2,500 people.
You know what happened? She got too greedy.
Boy, did she ever. She spent, let's see.
How many of those people that were getting these free meals were also on SNAP and EBT?
In total, between June of 20 through 2022, Jama submitted at least $4.5 million in fraudulent claims for funds, some of which she spent on real estate and vehicles, including the purchase of a Tesla Model X. Jama pleaded guilty yesterday, this is October 1st, 2024, to one count of wire fraud in U.S. District Court before Judge Nancy E. Brazel. A sentence hearing will be scheduled at a later time. Okay. But that just takes me back to one of my initial fascinations with this is you're sitting in the Department of Education. Yeah. You got a cubicle. And you're so uncurious that you get a request for funding, hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time, to go to somebody named, what the hell's her name? Kausar Jama.
Yes, sir.
Who is feeding 2,500 people in a week or a day in Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, and you don't do anything about it. That's still the part I want to get to. Who was the moron?
Why wasn't there a raised eyebrow?
Who was such a dead ass that they sat there and fulfilled these contracts?
How about that Pelican Rapids? They're really cruising up there, huh?
What this tells you is one of two things was taking place, Joe. Either they were on the take, which we're always saying allegedly.
Wait a minute. I got this wrong. Then you speak.
Okay, go ahead.
The moron helped her get money for her claims to have fed 233,000 meals to children in Pelican Rapids over a 4-month period.
Wow.
233,000 meals divided by 4.
Yep. How many is that per month?
58,000 per month.
That's a lot.
How about break it down by the week?
Divided by 4, 14,562 a week.
Break it down by the day.
2,000. So you basically fed
the whole town.
320 people went hungry, and they served 2,080 meals a day.
So that's unfair to the 320 people.
It really is.
They missed out.
Sad.
Where's my meatloaf?
They didn't eat.
What? I was late. I didn't know.
Honest to God.
Well, this tells us one of two things, Joe. Either whoever was approving this was on the take, or what was happening was it was one of those scenes where the piece of paper comes in, rubber stamp comes out, they don't even look at the piece of paper.
Are they that bored?
Well, Joe, they're fighting for us.
No, I'm talking about these cubicle dwellers at the Department of Education.
Aren't they fighting?
They're not fighting.
Oh,
for us.
okay, they're not fighting.
No, they're
for
not
us.
running, so they just get to sit and.
Gotcha.
They're playing solitaire on their phones.
This caught my eye because it irritates me.
Let's hear it.
Podcasting has a diversity problem.
God.
Bull sheep.
Well, and this is from something called The Wrap. Would someone look up the Wrap for me? What
WRAP?
Yeah, what site is the Wrap? This made national headlines on the Drudge
Isn't that
Report.
Schmitty's Sunday night sports thing?
The sports Wrap.
Wrap.
Oh.
The Wrap, your trusted source for entertainment breaking news. Right.
Okay, well, their headline is the podcasting's diversity problem. 64% of hosts are male, 77% are white. This is a University of Southern California study. So a couple of things. One,
Okay, let me give you a little background. An American online news organization that covers the business of entertainment and media, founded by journalist Sharon Waxman in 2009 and based in L.A. It features original reporting, analysis, and editorial coverage. Sharon was a former Hollywood correspondent for the New York Times and the Washington Post.
well, what it tells you is if USC decided to study this, it's because in the halls of the failed academy, diversity happens to be a value, when in fact, diversity is merely a fact of life. It's not a value in and of itself. That's impossible. It contains no value. It contains facts. So that's point number one. And point number two, just from the headline, the intimation is that somehow it's rigged.
All right, and Waxman grew up in a modern Orthodox Jewish family in Cleveland. She graduated from Bernard College in '85. English literature,
Yeah, you've cleared up the Wrap for
and then
me.
Middle Eastern studies.
Yeah,
She
thank
is
you.
Caucasian.
She's a Mysterioan.
Yes.
No, she isn't. I don't know. But the hosts of the top 100 podcasts of 2024 were overwhelmingly white and male. A new comprehensive study from USC reveals of the top podcasts, 64% were hosted by men, while 77% of the hosts were white, underlining a severe lack of diversity in the medium. Why is that severe? There's nothing.
Restrictive.
Can I tell you something? Because on account, you want to know why?
Yeah.
What would it cost me to buy what I need at Best Buy to do a podcast?
Under $100.
Yeah.
I have to buy a microphone, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do a good product, yes.
I'd have to buy a microphone.
Audacity is free.
It is.
And you need an internet connection.
Well, don't I have that if I have Wi-Fi in my house?
Sure.
So what am I buying at Best Buy besides a microphone?
That's pretty much it.
So the microphone I plug into my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
My laptop is hooked up to
The internet.
the internet. And what I bring Audacity up on the screen.
Sure. Or
And
Audition or whatever you'd like to use.
and I
for
start
sure.
talking.
Yeah.
You now have a podcast.
You record your podcast and then you send it.
There's a reason there's 800,000 podcasts. Anyone who wants to can do one.
But here's the problem. You are going to need other elements. Because, I mean, you can't do a quality podcast if you don't have quality production.
It's time for Author's Corner with Joe Souchere, and this one is a strike.
You'd have to develop that, yeah. But no, my point is these academics who wish to plant the seed of guilt into white America, they get up in the morning.
They dream it up.
And they're dreaming for
Yes.
ways to point out that white males are evil. And here we discover white males dominate podcasting. Anybody with it that can hear my voice, you're going to spend less than $100 at Best Buy. Go buy. You probably have a computer at home.
I bet it's $50 on Amazon.
And just
Yeah.
get a cheap microphone. Plug it into your computer. Dial up Audacity.
Bam.
Boom. You're doing a podcast.
Author's Corner with Joe Souchere, just the way you want it.
Even expanding beyond the top 100, 66.3% of the hosts of the top 592 podcasts. Is that us, do you think? Do we make the top 592?
Barely.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Just barely.
All right. We're in the top 592 out of 8 trillion.
We're 592.
We're 592, damn it.
593.
Even expanding beyond the top 100, 66.3% of the hosts of the top 592 podcasts were male. Yep, I'm guilty. And 79.2% were white. Guilty there. In both gender and race, podcasts trail other parts of the entertainment industry. 50% of the top 100 films of 2024 had a female lead, and among the most popular TV shows of last year, 44.9% of the series regulars were far from an underrepresented racial ethnic group. I think I can explain that to you.
How so?
There's governing bodies for television and movies. There's the Academy of the Arts and Sciences. They're because they're scared bleepless of the failed academy. They're trying to fulfill quotas every day. You can't, you watch these, ever watch these old Hallmark Christmas shows?
All the time.
Sometimes.
All the time.
Well, invariably now, they all have the wizened old black fellow who runs the quaint little antique shop.
Yes.
And, 20 years ago, that would have been a white guy, but now it's a black guy, which is great. I don't care.
Yep.
My point is that's all by design, because they're fulfilling what they think they should be doing. They're not doing out of sincerity.
Or the lead, the black guy, likes the white female.
Yeah, that's fine. That's wonderful. But here's the deal. There is no governing body of podcasts. So that begs this question. When will it develop that the podcast will have to be governed by some authority that will demand that there has to be equity in the number of hosting podcast shows?
Gabe, you've got your tweet. Joe Souchere calls for expansion of government to oversee podcast regulation.
No, I don't.
Ooh.
But it's inevitable.
You can't make me dress up like a girl. You can't make me.
Because you've got people here stirring the pot, and this will gain some notice.
Traction, 100%.
This will gain notice. Oh, my God, there's no black podcasters. Well, first of all, yes, there are. And two, there's no reason there can't be a million more black podcasters.
Right. Yeah. I mean, doesn't matter how bad they are. There's a whole bunch of good black podcasts out there.
It was a report in the Academy called Inequality in Popular Podcasts. There is no inequality in it. You are making a presumption that blacks are excluded by dictum, by design. No, they're not. Nobody's excluded. You can do one in 10 minutes.
Don't even know them.
I don't even know.
Why don't you just switch to identifying as a female?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, that's
Problem
true.
solved.
I'm glad that you know your staff when you ask your questions, because you did look at Rookie and see, have you ever seen a Hallmark movie?
Yeah, why did you look at me?
Because I knew you would.
That's stereotyping.
Let me just finish this before you get nervous with your break sign, all right?
Break it up.
The report, called Inequality in Popular Podcasts, was authored by Dr. Stacey L. Smith. She got that doctor from an Ovaltine jar.
Right.
Was doctored by Dr. Stacey L. Smith and the Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, based on podcast data from Spotify and additional podcast industry reports. The first of its kind study examines the top 100 podcasts of 2024 and a total of 592 popular podcasts. Podcasts have become an essential platform for information, entertainment, and connection, said Dr. Smith. This study underscores both the reach of podcasting and the opportunity to ensure the voices behind the mic reflect the audiences they serve. Again, the intimation is that by design, this has become a white industry. That's B as in B, S as in S.
Yeah, I agree.
Anybody who wants to do this can do it. According to the study, women were most likely to host podcasts. Isn't one of the richest podcasters this chick that just talks about her sex life?
Yeah.
Cry My Daddy?
Call Me Daddy.
Call Me Daddy.
What's up, Daddy?
According to the study, women were most likely to host podcasts in the genres of true crime, art, society, and culture, news, and education. Women were least likely to host programs focused on business and technology. Who cares? So what?
Find your genre and start talking about it.
This is women of color were least likely to host podcasts. Well, buy a microphone, plug it into your computer, and you're doing one.
Right. Whatever your genre is, the chicks could get together and say, we're doing a vagina podcast.
The news doesn't get any better when expanding the search to guests instead of hosts. Nearly 2/3, 62.6% of the more than 4,000 episodes evaluated did not feature a woman guest. Well, I think we had a woman guest yesterday.
We sure did, Joe.
And the week before with the gubernatorial candidate.
Collie Herr was on yesterday. Women were most likely to appear as guests when a podcast had a woman host.
Wait. I think I found the reason why. There is an equity and inclusion problem with diversity in the podcast format.
All right.
Because I got this received from a podcast that was failed.
Hello, everybody.
No, stop practicing. God,
Jack and Lori.
I've been doing this 100 years. Act like it.
Did it start?
Wait, go hit the play.
Where's John at?
I'm not ready yet.
We'll start without him.
I'm not ready yet.
Podcast
You
inequity, my butt.
You know?
There isn't any.
He starts the first one by saying, "Hello, everybody."
Hello, everybody. Let me tell you something. My loathing for this attitude equals my loathing for the climate change fraudsters.
It's right up
What
there.
they're doing is insidious. They're creating out of whole cloth a dilemma that does not exist.
Nope.
And they give it the weight of a college study behind it. All my black brothers and sisters listening, either you're already doing a podcast or if you want to, what's stopping you? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
What's stopping you?
Yeah.
From what?
Taking a break.
I wanna tell you
Several
about
of
it.
our
I wanna
last
tell you
guests
about-
have been female. Lee Finke.
Well, that's up for debate.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll stop there.
Fall and winter soon here. Well, fall's here. Winter's soon enough. Precision Garage Door can get you outfitted with a new garage door. $100 off now a single door. $200 off a double door. Precision Garage Door sends out the designer. They have models for every budget. Bing, bang, boom. You improve aesthetics, improve security, and improve insulation. If you like your current door, but she's acting up on you, making some strange noises, well, just book a Precision Door noisy door tune-up special for $149, regularly a $290 price, and that includes a 25-point safety inspection and diagnostic test. So don't let that garage door fail if some maintenance right now can prevent that, and you won't go out there in the dead of winter and be stuck. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or book one of Precision Door's noisy door tune-up specials.
Ibuprofen's under buy again in my online shopping cart. Every week I learn of something else I should be doing for my heart. If I use the wrong pillow, I might have trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. As a kid, to me, ancient history was something like World War I. But I arrived close to that time, and this year as I sing this song, and I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see everybody. 100 years ain't what it used to be. Before you know it, you're 63, making plans for Medicare A and B. You look around yourself and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be.
Rolling.
Just a minute.
Could read my mind, Reeves. What's the spot that you would tell?
The Earth is not your mother.
Got a pencil.
The Joe
What a
Souchere
nut's at?
Show.
No, hold on. Hold up your jar that you
Hold
just
up your
received
nuts.
before I have to go to my graphic. Suchi boy. Hold up your nuts
Hold up.
to the camera.
Oh, fail.
There we go. Oh,
Where'd he
hold
go?
up, turn the label.
Oh,
There we go.
Mr. Nut.
Souchere got his We Are Nuts canister of cashews. And here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the time for holiday gifting with We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. You've only got a couple of days left, by the way.
Stop. Well, you don't have to gift those. If you're entertaining, you
There
just
you go.
go there, you
Yep.
buy them, you put them in bowls, and you've got an appetizer, sea of appetizers right there.
That's right. And you can see their entire corporate gifting catalog. It's right there on the homepage at wearenutsmn.com.
That's the way to do
He's
it.
always entertaining.
I'm nuts.
That's what he's doing. And you know what? You've got until November 14th. My sources say that's Friday to get those orders in by Christmas. And you can pick your tins. But also, guess what? There's huge news right now. We Are Nuts is making some huge moves. It's now available at all Cub Foods locations and also select Quick Trip locations.
Okay.
You can see their entire
That's
selection.
serious.
So let's see. We're already in Fratelloni, all the Frattelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores, Max Hardware, Lunds and
This
Barley's,
is metro wide.
Kowalski's, Cub Foods now, Cubs Food? Is that what I said?
Yeah. Yes, Clem.
And also select Quick Trip locations. It's the absolute best handcrafted nuts and snacks made right here in the great state of Minnesota and a family-owned operation. We love you. We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com.
I'm never getting out of here.
Yeah, I'm nuts. Where was I?
That's a good one.
Nutty.
Yeah.
We have talked frequently of the Family Leave Act, which apparently is going to kick in
Yes.
this year, 2026. And I want to read you a note. I'm not going to read a letter. I'm not going to say his name. He might be perfectly fine with me saying it, but I'm going to, out of precaution. And I know the guy very well, so this is very real. I'm just going to choose not to say his name because I don't know whether that would.
I trust your instincts.
But he's a friend of mine, so I know this very well. I've been meaning to reach out, but this latest move out of St. Paul and the state of Minnesota finally pushed me to do it. I'm convinced that state and local government, whether by design or just dumb momentum, is making it harder and harder for small businesses like mine to survive. Maybe that sounds like an overstatement, but from where I sit, it's starting to feel like death by 1,000 cuts. The latest cut, paid family and medical leave. Now, I've already been living with this in St. Paul since they rolled out their own version a while back. It's confusing as hell, hard to calculate, and you need a team of lawyers just to understand who it applies to and when. It doesn't apply to all employees, just those who physically work in St. Paul, but it applies to every hour they spend in St. Paul. Try managing that when you've got people floating between two locations like I do. It got so complicated that I just threw my hands up and applied it to everybody because I don't have the time or resources to split hairs. Supplies to full-time and part-time employees of any size of a business. Getting family medical leave and a raise compounds the cost to the employer. There is zero recognition that this benefit, mandated by the government and paid in part by me, is in effect a raise. This is exactly what happens when the state tries to solve a problem that did not exist. Here's my version of a family medical leave policy. It's called good judgment. I'm a small business. I know my people. If they're going through something at home, an illness, a crisis, it's going to affect how they show up at work. If I want to keep good employees, I've got to treat them like people. In a market like this, where keeping great employees is important, I need to bend in favor of the employee. I already do that, not because the government told me to, but because it's the right thing to do. But now, with this new state plan, it's layered, expensive, and feels like I'm being punished for doing the right thing already. They're taking 0.44% from me and 0.44% from the employee. But that's just the tip of the spear. They had to create a bureaucracy to manage all this, and there's no chance that 0.88% is going to cover it. Not even close. When the paperwork piles up, and it will, the default will be just to grant requests, no real oversight, no way to manage it responsibly. And like every other government solution, the tax will only go up from here. This is coming from legislators who've never run a business, never signed the front of a paycheck, and have no idea what it's like to be responsible for someone else's livelihood. Never assumed the responsibility of a payroll, and never felt the risk of your total net worth wrapped up in your business. But they sure seem to think we're all out here hoarding cash and taking advantage of people. So they pass these feel-good laws, not because they work, but because it scratches their guilt and makes them feel like they've done something noble. But what they're actually doing is pushing people further into the arms of Amazon, Target, and big box chains, because small businesses can't keep absorbing these hits. The irony, the more you strangle the local shops, the more people depend on the big guys. And the same people who supposedly hate big business are the ones making that dependence inevitable.
Yep.
Anyway, I just needed to get this off my chest. Thought it might be something for you and the Garage Logic crew to chew on, because from where I stand, this is not helping workers. It is not helping small business. It's just helping bureaucracy grow while the rest of us bleed. Keep up the good fight. Isn't that something?
Yes.
You know, that was never more evident than when? During COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, all those big box retailers were allowed to be open, and that's what the main complaint was from the gal that got sued by Ellison. Well, why can't my coffee shop be open, but I can go, and I'm not singling out Target, but I can go to this large retailer with 10,000 different people. It was all a joke.
The main thing that I know that Kali Her is considerably left-leaning compared to any garage logician. But the one thing that gives me great hope is that she has had such a solid and successful background in business, in banking, in investments, that it will irritate her to see how inefficiently and incompetently many government programs are run.
Yes.
And it's my great hope that she will not be able to resist setting that straight. No matter what the program is, I envision her saying, hold on a minute. Do people realize what this costs and what this costs and what this costs? But if you did it this way, it would cost this. That's my great hope for her, that she can bring some sense of private sector efficiency where she had to compete. In order for her to reach the success she did in banking and investment, she had to out-hustle, outsmart, and out-compete other people in the same industry, where the people we've managed to elect, these inadequate young council people who have never done anything, they've never had to compete, they've never signed a paycheck, they've never dreamed up efficiency, they've never done any of it. So here comes a woman who, that's my hope for her, that she brings that sense of efficiency to city government.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the best we can ask for or hope for right now in St. Paul.
And if she's, her left-leaning view of the world might compel her to always be wanting money, but we might see it spent more properly.
That's the hope, yes.
Yeah, you might see it spent in ways that make sense.
But I also think that she, if I can, Joe, she'll have an ear. She will listen to someone by saying, hey, is this the right thing to do? Not just rubber stamp it and say, send the money out, send the money out. I think she'll be pensive about a purchase. Not everything. She's, again, what did she call herself? A unicorn?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, that business owner, He was right on the money. He just right on the money.
Oh yeah.
It's just a crying shame what the government is doing to people like that. They're needlessly intruding.
Well, the small businesses.
You know what I'd say too. I'd apologize for interrupting you, but I'm not going to. But I'm not going to.
I didn't.
Yeah. You know what
take it off his
I
tab.
didn't. Yeah.
You know what I'd say too. You know what the typical legislative response to his letter would be? Well, not all business people are as charitable and as understanding as you are. You know what my answer to that is?
What?
So what? That's the employee's problem. The
Right.
employee would have to find a different job if things are that bad. That's the business's problem. It's not the government's problem.
And the fact that this applies to part-time employees too.
And in this fellow's case, he happens to have one aspect of his business is in St. Paul and one is elsewhere. So when these employees move back and forth, as he said, he just threw up his hands and said, "The hell with it! I can't keep track anymore." Yes.
Okay, we're always looking for T-shirt ideas. Gabe, you ready for this? You know, we always look for a slogan for Garage Logic in a calendar year.
Okay.
Once in a while, 2026. I ain't feeling it. The Minnesota Paid Leave Act.
Maybe
I ain't
Datron will
feeling
sign
it.
off on
I
this
ain't
picture.
feeling it.
Where were you yesterday, Datron? I just wasn't feeling it.
Our travels with the Lymans continue. We're on a ship. We're on a liner.
Yeah.
And we're cruising south on the Atlantic still in international water off the west coast of South Africa. We're heading south. I wonder where they're going.
South.
Well, we'll learn, won't we? Because we're on the trip.
Argentina.
That's nowhere near Africa.
Okay. Take a left turn.
No,
Right by,
no.
Lions
Actually,
Camp.
you'd have to take a right.
What's the equivalent of
Right by Lions
Barista.
exactly what I was
Argentinia's Lions Tap.
We're heading to Mankato, heading to the Lions Tap.
Okay.
On this day,
Hey, Bert.
Or what is it, November 12th?
12.
you know, there's really
God, I love you, Rookie.
Rook. There's no chance
Where are we going
of
today?
being off the coast of West Africa and taking a left and ending up in
You
Venezuela.
turn right over there on the Cape of the Horn.
On this day,
Take a right.
November 12th.
Right over the
in
Edmund Fitzgerald.
1882, 5 craft unions and 2 Knights of Labor assemblies from the St. Paul Trades and Labor Assembly, the first.
Yeah.
5 craft unions and 2 Knights of Labor assemblies formed the St. Paul Trades and Labor Assembly, the first centralized labor organization in the state. On this day,
Joe, today is November 12th.
1889,
What happened?
DeWitt Wallace was born in St. Paul. What did he found?
The Wallace Paper Towel Company.
He founded Reader's Digest in 1922, and his family's fortune benefited educational and performing arts associations. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he gave a lot of money to McAllister.
Yes, there is a Wallace building, I believe.
On this day,
November 12th.
huh?
November 12th.
12.
I'm not allowed to look at him.
In 1892, Walter Pudge Heffelfinger became the first professional football player in history. The Minneapolis-born
Who did he play against?
The Minneapolis-born
Himself.
The Minneapolis-born Heffelfinger signed to play with the Allegheny Athletic Association and was paid $500 for his role in the 4-0 victory over the Pittsburgh Athletic Club.
Well, this is good. I know this is semantics, but I mean, he had to play against somebody.
Heffelfinger.
How was he the first? Wouldn't there be a group of people that were the first?
Right. Maybe he was the first guy signed.
He was the first guy signed, apparently, by the Allegheny
All right.
Athletic
There
Association.
you go. That's the clarification I was
Or
looking
maybe
for.
the distinction was he was the first guy who said, "Give me some money,"
Or who was paid.
making him a professional
There you go.
How did you arrive?
By steamboat.
by
yes.
train. On this day,
November 12th.
in 1908, Harry A. Blackman was born in Nashville, Illinois. He spent his early years in St. Paul and returned to the area After earning a degree from Harvard Law School, President Richard Nixon appointed him to the U.S. Supreme Court on April 14, 1970. Blackmun is remembered for authoring the 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade, which made abortion legal in the U.S., and for retracting his support for the death penalty in 1994 by writing, "I shall no longer tinker with the machinery of death." He died on March 4, 1999, so he was 1 when he died. No, I mean, he was 91. 91 on this day.
Yep.
November 12th.
In 1977, Steve Carter's Eden was the first documented performance at the Penumbra Theater in St. Paul. Founded in 1976 by Lou Bellamy, the nationally acclaimed theater won a Jujimisen Award in 1999 and was known for producing all of the works of Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright August Wilson.
What is it now?
I think it's still there.
Is it really?
Yeah. I think. I don't know.
So.
I don't know. It's over there.
It's over on Maine.
Yeah.
On this day in Minnesota sport, look it up, somebody.
Yep.
Is the Penumbra Theater still in business?
The Penumbra. How do you spell that?
What the number?
P-E-N.
Penumbra Theater. Yep.
U-M.
Yep.
B-R-A.
B-R-A.
For
Penumbra.
Penumbra.
I think it's still operating.
Theater.
Where's the Penumbra?
It's a theater.
It is located in Martin Luther King Recreational Center.
There it is.
It is.
On Kent Street.
Right
North
near-
Kent Street in
right
St. Paul.
near-
St. Paul.
On this day in sports disappointment history.
Joe, who'd we lose to on November 12th?
Well, in 2018, that Jimmy Butler trade became official.
Yeah.
And on this day,
November 12th?
in 2023, the Wild set a franchise records for defensive futility. So I suppose you'd have to look up who they played on November 12,
They got
2023.
smoked.
But that's
It was
okay.
10-1. 10-1 they lost to the Sharks.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Why does he do that? I mean, he can't keep
But I mean,
doing
it's okay.
that.
You're like, somebody's going to look it up.
No, but
Your
you
guy
can't-
that did the barrister or whatever, he's like, I looked it up, and I had some extra time on my hands.
The best is when you glance at the top of the keyboard.
Yeah.
Or, I know that.
Will you
it
look up
was-
who the North Stars, who the Wild
It
played on
was-
November 12th, 2023?
Got her.
I already
Hang
shut her down. I got to get moving.
God, dude, just leave then.
Okay.
Leave.
I like to be by you.
Leave.
12, 20, what is it? 2023?
Yep.
November
And
12th.
if it is 10-1 by the Sharks, you owe me $100,000.
They lost to, oh my God.
The Sharks 10-1.
Did you seriously know that?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're wrong. They lost to the
Damn it.
Dallas Stars. Stars score 7 on special teams and cruise past the Wild. They get 5 different goals on power plays, Joe.
What was the final?
7-2. 7-2. Hang on. 8-2.
That's a
They
shellacking.
got another
8-2.
late goal.
That's a shellacking. Thank you, GLers.
Empty netter.
Yep.
That's right.
Empty netter. The Wild were going to come back with 30 seconds left and 6 goals.
Please do us a favor if you've not done so already. Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. You can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube and search for us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And a lot of pictures of the Aurora Borealis from last night are available on the social medias, including Garage Logic.
They'll hit again tonight.
8 o'clock is what I hear.
Yeah. You know her?
Invented the sky. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.